Today, we're going to talk about fees, taxes, and cashback for international investors. There's some huge changes, and might I add that we're really happy for the growth we had the past year, so to say. We went from a Romanian startup to right now an international crowdfunding platform. I think we're fully fledged. So, having this in mind, we had to adapt to certain changes. If we could drop over to the next slide. Perfect. So, who are we? We're basically a team of 4 people. Each of us excels at their area. So, let's jump right ahead. We have Vicențiu Vlad, our dear CEO. A round of applause for Vic.
Hi everyone, this is Vicențiu. I'm the CEO of the company, and I'm focusing more on the relation with the big investors and with the project developers. Next.
We also have Alex, our CTO, the builder of everything that is.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. Good evening. And yeah, as Andrei said, I built the platform. I'm responsible for what works and what doesn't work from a technical perspective.
Cool. Thank you so much. I'm Andrei. I'm the growth officer. My job is to make sure that more and more people hear about our platform and start investing. We also have Lorena, which is our COO. She takes care of everything operationally, and if you have any questions or if something happens in your account and you might need some support with it, she'll be the one in charge to make sure that you get the best possible experience on our platform. So a round of applause for her as well. Going further, if we could just move on to the next slide.
Yep. Sorry for that.
Perfect. Today's speakers are Vicențiu, Vlad, and Alex. They're going to speak mostly about why we did the changes, what the changes basically are, and how they impact international investors, and what you have to have in mind given certain parameters, for example, currency, for example, certain fees that you could have in mind. Going further, for those of you who don't know what Stock.estate is, well, let's tackle this question first. We're basically a real estate investing through crowd lending. We're a crowd lending platform from Romania, offering you access to profitable and secure real estate investments. As you most probably saw, we have different opportunities each month and hopefully even shorter projects, shorter term to finance, so to speak, but we're working on it. Going further into the slides, the biggest change is the administration fee. So basically, we used to, the commission was 10% from the yields themselves. Now we're moving towards a more ample solution, basically a 0.2 administration fee of the value from investment for portfolio. It's calculated automatically, it's fully transparent, it's visible at any time, and it's included in the financial report. Going further, right now, Alex can take over from here because this is way too technical for a marketer to tackle.
Thank you, Andrei. So maybe just one more thing to say about the administration fee. So it's applied to the entire investment value, and the actual fee itself is going to be very similar to the commission structure that we had before. So We just change it for it to be more simple and more transparent and easier to calculate for everyone.
Sorry, Alex, a detail that is not in the slide, 0.2% monthly.
Yeah, per month. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to add them, and we'll see them and we'll answer them as they come up, or I'm happy to pause at any point and answer the questions. I'd like this to be as interactive as possible. So one thing that comes up pretty often when we discuss with our users are questions about the bank transfers and if there are any additional fees or additional costs. And the answer is there are no additional costs from our side. So you're going to do like a normal bank transfer, which is called like a SEPA transfer. And normally these involve no or very low fees on your end. It depends very much on your bank if it has any fees. Some banks have, in your monthly package, you have like 10 free transactions, and then the others are paid, but these are usually pretty low fees. There's another type of transfer called a SWIFT transfer, and we recommend not using this one, but depending on where your bank is, you're going to have to use it. But if you're in the EU or if you're using a bank in the EU, you should not have to use SWIFT. You can use SEPA. So yeah, SEPA transfer generally arrives it can arrive in the same day, but usually arrives the next day. But for slower banks or maybe from transfers from abroad, it can take an additional day. So we've seen situations where the transfer is made on Friday and it arrived on Tuesday the next week. That was the worst situation that we've ever seen. But usually if you do the transfer on Friday, the money will arrive by Monday. Or if you do it today, it's going to arrive tomorrow if it's within the week.
Cool. One quick pause because we do have some questions regarding the platform commission. So I think it would be best if you don't mind to tackle those right now before moving on to the other subject, so we don't lose the train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So this is in Romanian, but I'll translate it in English. When will be the monthly commission perceived? Will it be at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month?
Yeah, we always apply commission to earnings, right? So to interest. So the total gross interest that you can see on your investment, let's say it's 18% or 20%, we apply commission when we do a reimbursement. So it's not at the beginning and not at the end of the month. It's usually at the end of the month because that's when we pay reimbursements. But technically, it's when we do a reimbursement payment to the user, which is an interest, also called an interest payment, which we do every month now. Yeah. That's when we also charge this 0.2% of the investment amount commission. So it's going to be subtracted from the gross interest. But all this is fully visible on the platform. If you click simulate or if you've created an investment, you have a full reimbursement chart and you see the actual net values where we have subtracted all the commissions and everything, and you can see exactly the amount of money that you're going to get.
Cool.
And another important point on this is that if we don't receive the reimbursement, if you don't receive the reimbursement, we are not charging that commission. I mean, Correct. We are not making money if you are not.
Yeah, perfectly put. Thank you for the clarification. Phil also adds another question of if overall this change from 10% to 0.2% monthly will be more advantageous for the investor or if it would be more costly. So basically, do you pay more or less?
Yeah, the answer to that is it depends on if we compare it to the previous way we took commission, which was 10% from the amount of interest. It depends on the return rate of the campaign. If the return rate, I believe, if it's below 17%, then it's going to be a bit more than before. If it's above 17% and something, then it's going to be less than before.
70, 85 is the threshold.
17.85%.
Yeah.
But again, the difference is pretty small. So overall, based on the whole investment, yeah, it is a bit worse from let's say lower interest campaigns, but the difference is not that big.
Yeah.
Depends, because on the lower interest, you can feel it more, because this 0.2 monthly is going to be basically a fixed 2.4 yearly. So if you have a campaign that pays 10%, it's gonna reduce your net more compared with another campaign that is paying 18%.
Yeah.
Because it's a fixed cost, so that's why.
Yeah. So the 0.2 commission is perceived only from the sum invested or also from the interest?
Only the amount invested. That's what makes accounting and predictability a lot easier, because you just take the amount invested, you apply 0.2%, and that's the amount you pay every month if we make a reimbursement payment, which we will do. But let's say we don't make a reimbursement payment, that obviously you don't pay the commission. So the answer is only for the invested sum.
Yeah, perfect. I do think it's way clearer now. Just to make sure, if you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate. That's why we do these webinars, because if you tackle these, we can also have better clarity overall, and you can understand why we do the changes. Cool. That's all for this. Thank you so much for your time. And if we could go to the other topic, Alex.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I think I've already covered everything there is to say about bank transfers. Withdrawals. So once you've put money on the platform, let's say you've earned some money, you want to take the money out, we don't charge any fees whatsoever. So essentially, we cover the withdrawal fees that are charged by our bank. So investors do not have to pay for withdrawals, and you can withdraw as little or as much money you want at any point and as often as you want. But there can be fees on your end. So if your bank charges fees for let's say receiving euros, or that maybe you inputted it happened, people inputted an account in another currency, and obviously their bank converted from euros to that specific currency. Yeah. But if you know your bank doesn't charge, and most banks don't charge for receiving transfers, and you have an account in euros, then there should be no issues and no fees.
Yep.
So basically, you can add money to the platform, and let's say you need that money urgently, you realize, oh, actually, I can't place the investment. You can just take it out, and you will have lost nothing. You can deposit 10K, you take it out tomorrow, you get back 10K. You don't lose anything by putting the money and taking it out, and that's I think a good peace of mind for investors. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. I think I've kind of covered a bit the topics here. So please make sure that you transfer funds in euros. I know some of our Romanian investors, sometimes either mistakenly or because maybe they don't have a euro account, they transfer money in lei, in our local currency. That means our bank will happily take the lei and will convert it to euros, but obviously charging usually a worse FX fee than your own bank would charge. So you need to transfer from a euro account, because all the investments, everything happens in euros on our platform. So yeah, transfer in euros, you won't have any issues. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say here.
Perfect.
Taxation of interest. Yeah, so obviously a big concern for investors is, how will I be taxed for the earnings on the platform, right? So this differs from the type of investor, like is it a foreign investor? Is it a company? Is it a Romanian investor? And so on. But what's important to know is that taxes only apply to the interest that you have earned. For certain investors, we will do the withholding of the tax on our own, so they don't have to do any declaration or pay any additional taxes on top. But as far as I know, for foreign investors, Andrei or Vincențiu, correct me if I'm wrong, they do still have to file a tax report. We will do the withholding on our end, and they have to file the tax report and to declare that the withholding was done in this percent. And the percent differs from country to country. And I will be going into a bit deeper on this later. But you have to declare the interest that you have earned if you are a foreign investor or if you are a company. If you are a Romanian investor, then you're fully covered. And you don't invest as a company, you invest as an individual. We do the withholding and there should be no issue whatsoever. I think to be, let's say, 100% sure, you can add it to your annual Declarație Unică, the unique declaration that we do every year. You can declare it there, but there's nothing additional that you have to pay. Everything is withheld, and you can see it on the chart, and there's nothing additional. If you're a foreign investor, then you have to declare it, and we do the withholding on our own, but I'm not sure if there's anything additional to be paid in your country.
Yes, that depends of the country, because usually Romania has a lower taxation of compared with the Western country. So you may pay a difference from these two different taxation in your country. For example, I'm really familiar with Italy, that the withholding tax is 26%. So you will pay actually a 3% in Romania. We will withhold it, and the difference of 23 is to be paid in Italy, because there is a special treat between the two countries. And practically with all European and even worldwide countries, usually Romania has a double treat. And to add, even for the Romanian investors, you don't have to declare in the Declarația Unică. You may need to declare it if your interest is higher than your earnings are higher than 6 minimum salary on the economy. Just in that case, you have to declare, but for the CASS, not for the earnings.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. You don't have to do it if you don't exceed 6 minimum wage salaries in your interest. Okay. Are there any questions here? If I invest...
Yes, there are. If I invest from Romania in a foreign project, I still pay the same taxes from my country, right?
Yeah. The platform, the taxes are dictated by the platform, right?
Yeah.
We handle it, but depends even of the beneficiary country and which is the withholding of that specific country. But you don't have to bother about it.
Yeah.
Again, everything will be transparent in the platform. Even if you don't have an account, I can actually show you that. Let me go here. You go to any campaign and you click simulate. And here, I think I'm in a company account now, but if I were like an individual account, here I can see exactly the interest that I would pay for a 1,000 euro investment, right? So the interest that I would earn, and this is the net interest. I can also see it as a chart, and I can see it as a table, and I can see when the payments are and how much I make in the end, right? If I invest more, obviously I will earn more. Let me go back to this. Yeah, so this is the bit that I said I'm going to go into more detail, and Vincenzo already talked a bit about this. So the withholding tax, there are treaties between European countries to avoid double taxation, right? So we do withholding tax on our own, and then you have to pay the difference in your country. But in order to do it correctly, you will have to prove your tax residency in that country. Like all investment platforms ask for this usually when you register or later. So you need to prove that you are a tax resident of the country that you live in, or wherever you are a tax resident, or whatever you invest as. And that can be done from your profile. You go to your profile. If you are a foreign investor, the first thing that you're going to see is upload tax residency certificate. And then we will get notified, and we have to check that it's valid. And once it's valid, we will apply to your account the correct withholding tax rate based on the treaty between our countries. And that can vary, like you see on the slide, from 0 to 16%. If you do not upload this residency certificate and you invest, we're going to apply the maximum withholding tax rate, which is 16%. So if you're a foreign investor and you want to invest with us, we highly encourage you to upload the tax residency certificate so we can do the withholding tax, the withholding in the correct way. So you have to do, even if you already placed an investment, that's fine. It matters to do it before the first interest payment. So the first interest payment is usually at the end of the month. So don't panic, don't go in the platform like right now and upload it. You have enough time until the end of the month to upload the tax residency certificate. If you did invest and you've already received payments with the 16% withholding tax rate, there's nothing to be done about the ones in the past. But if you upload it now, everything in the future will be applied correctly. So you will not have lost a lot of money. It's probably going to be very, very little money. Okay, moving on to the next one. Yeah, there's actually a website put together by PwC, the consulting company, where you can actually, we don't make up those numbers out of thin air. Like I said, the avoidance of double taxation treaties, those are all listed in there with the withholding taxes for each country compared to Romania. So if you're curious what withholding tax rate applies to your country, go to that link, look for your country in the list, and the one under interest, I'm not going to open it right now, just a big table with numbers. The one under interest will apply to your account. But we're going to do that for you. But in case you're curious and you want to triple check that we did the right job, then it's going to be there. I think we have another question.
Yes, we do. When is the 2025 transactions report becoming available for download?
So in your account, you're going to see two different types of reports. Let me go back to the platform because I'm logged into my account here. So if you go to your investments, you're going to see the income statement and the transaction report. The one people usually care about most is the income statement, because this shows exactly how much money you deposited, how much money you have earned over a certain period. This is generally what companies provide to their accountant in order for to tell them, look, I made an investment on this platform, just record it in the right way in accounting. So this is like a general view, and it's a single page. The transaction report is available at any point, because this shows at any point when you deposited money, when you received some interest. So every transaction, every money movement throughout the app will be visible in the transaction report. The income statement, like I said, is just a general view. So at the end of the year, you can just set it for the entire year here. Let's say 1st January of 2025 and December 2025, and you can generate it now. So the question is, when will it be available for 2025? Right now. You can go in, you select the dates like I did, and click generate. And it was available on the 1st of January. So you don't have to wait. You can just download it at any point once that date has passed.
Cool. Thanks.
But let me follow up on this one. If you are speaking about the report that should be visible on the fiscal authority of the country, in Romanian case, ANAF, it will be available later during the year, because how it works technically. We pull all of this data and we give it to the accountants of the developers. They are filling each year two declarations, 205 and 207. 205 for Romanian fiscal residents, 207 for foreign residents. And the deadline to put that declaration is end of February. So after this deadline, the fiscal authority put together all the data, and after that deadline, you may see it even in your report from the fiscal authority.
Okay, cool, and very necessary clarification. Didn't
Yeah,
even
and
think of it that way.
To continue with another follow-up, we are in talks with the authority to change this step and to do ourselves as platform instead of the developers that are the beneficiary of the loan, this declaration, as it works for brokers right now. But when they did the legislation for crowdfunding providers, they didn't change the fiscal code with these specific points. So we have addressed to the ministry in order to do these little changes in order to have a smoother process. Because right now you can imagine that each beneficiary has a different accountant that have never heard about crowdfunding loans and all these transactions, and it's a bit hard for them. Even if we give them the full reports and they have just to copy paste in the declaration, sometimes it may deliver change. As well as there are challenges of the authority side that is not used to receive declaration like this one for private loans.
Yeah, so very nice segue into basically the challenges that our platform faces and what crowdfunding being so new is. Mihai completed his question and he said that he was asking just because he tried to download it and nothing happened. So
it means that it is a bug and you have to look at Alex.
That's not out of the question, but it could be there's something else.
Yeah.
Can you still see my screen? So one thing that you need to make sure is to select the period. So you need to open this. So when you just load the page, if I refresh the page, the default period is January 1st, 2026. So you have to select January 1st, 2025, and you have to go to December 31st, 2025. So do this before and then click generate. And it usually takes like 20, 30 seconds for it to generate. If you still have an issue, make sure to leave it on the chat, and I will personally check it and make sure it works, Mihai.
Cool. If this issue persists, make sure to message us wherever you can, and especially on the platform. If you find anything that doesn't make sense to you, or you have questions, or there's actually bugs happening, make sure to let us know, and Alex here moves lightning fast to fix everything.
I do my best. So I think that the next slide is covering something that I've already said. So you can use the simulate function on the platform that I showed earlier, and that will show exactly your net earnings. So there's nothing hidden, everything is fully transparent, even before you place the investment and all throughout the investment as well. So you simulate, and once you have placed the investment, maybe I can show that as well. So if I go here, let me just go back. Again, simulate button here, you will see the chart and the table that shows exactly how much you're going to earn and how much you're going to have in the end. And if I go to my investments, I have the same chart for an investment that I made last year. And I can see exactly what I'm going to earn, how much I earned so far, and so on. So everything is fully transparent, and you're going to know exactly how much you are going to earn in the end, how much you received so far, and when, and so on. So there's nothing like, will I earn something or when will it be? Everything is already set from the get-go, even before you place the investments. Okay, moving back to the presentation. Cashback. So this, I think, was on the thumbnail for today's webinar. So we finally got to this topic. So beginning of this year, we implemented something that we're very excited about, which is a cashback mechanism. And we implemented this to incentivize people to invest earlier and to invest more money. Because if you invest earlier or you invest more money, you're going to get a better return rate. And the way you get a better return rate is in the form of a cashback. And the cashback is actually nicer than a higher return rate because you get that money available in your account right after the investment has started, meaning at the end of the month. So let's say I place an investment today. Actually, let me just go to the platform and try placing an investment so I can show you. So let's say I want to invest in this platform, and this one has cashback active, because one way to know it is to know that the interest rate is up to 19%, meaning the interest rate is variable depending on how much you invest. And you're going to see these little buttons up here. So if I invest 10,000 euros, I'm going to get 1% back in cashback. And that means I'm going to get 100 euros right at the end of this month. If I invest 50K, then I'm going to get 2% back, meaning 1,000 euros, and so on. So if I try to invest 50K, I don't have enough money, unfortunately. But if I added money to the wallet and I completed this investment, I would see the 1,000 here in the list. And at the end of the month, when the funding period completes for this campaign, I will get 1,000 euros in my account ready to use for the next investment. So that's very nice about cashback, because you can use it the next month, right? If we just added 1% or 2% to the return, you would get it spread out throughout the whole investment. So you would get the benefit, but you would get it a lot slower. Now you get that 1 or 2% extra, and you can use it next month, right? And you can compound. So that's exactly what we like as investors. We like to compound. So we invest what we have this month, and then next month we invest what we have earned plus what we have, and so on. And we get the ball rolling. So that's what we wanted to enable people to do with this cashback mechanism. And obviously we wanted to make people invest a bit more now that we have grown and we have proved the concept, and we have shown that everything works, and so on. We felt that this is the right time to implement this cashback mechanism. And there's one more thing about cashback. I mentioned that we also incentivize people to invest earlier. So I cannot show this on the live platform because the early bird cashback is no longer available for any campaigns. But I have some on a different environment. So this is not something that's publicly available. But on this environment, let's say I go to this campaign, you can see that if I finalize the investment, maybe some of the people in the call here, they've already invested with an early bird cashback. So if I invest within the first 7 days of that of when that campaign was listed, I get an extra 1%. So if I invest whatever amount, I get 1%. If I invest 10K, I get 1% early bird plus 1% cashback, and so on. If I invest 100K, I get a total of 5% in this case. So I get 5,000 euros if I invest 100K that's usable at the end of the month. So these are the two types of cashback mechanisms that we have implemented on our platform. Time-based, also called early bird, and amount-based, which is based on the amount. And each campaign will have its own thresholds, and you will see them on the investment widget that I've just shown.
Cool. There's some questions about this. So if you don't mind jumping straight into them.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So is the cashback tax the same?
I don't think, I think we're going to tax at the total amount, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's taxed basically it's taxed the interest that you earn after you reinvest the cashback, because the cashback you cannot withdraw right away, but you can only invest it. So basically, this cashback are money that our company is giving to investors to help them with the investments. So in that transaction that we give you the cashback, you don't have any taxation, but that cashback you are gonna reinvest it, and you are going to do earnings on that cashback, and you will pay taxes on that earnings. But on the gift that we give to you, because this cashback came from our commission, there is no taxation on this first transaction, let's say.
Yeah.
So you don't pay taxes when you get the cashback. You will pay taxes when you reinvest it as part of that investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going further, cashback can be withdrawn or just reinvested. Vic already tackled this issue. So it can be just reinvested. So it can compound more. Also, a very interesting question. In previous communications, you mentioned that the average investment per campaign is around 2,500. I hope I understood this correctly. Based on this, the cashback threshold seems somewhat challenging to reach, with the possible exception of the 10K level, which itself may occur only occasionally. From my perspective, it seems unlikely that the higher thresholds would be reached in practice. I was therefore wondering whether there might be some room to consider more attainable thresholds so that the cashback structure better reflects typical investment levels. So, on short, could we reconsider changing the cashback tiers, so to speak?
Yes, I mean, we can reconsider everything, and we are doing that each month and each day with the product in general, with all its feature. So we started, based on data, we started with this threshold that at the moment are confirming that we were right, that the platform is maturing, and investors start to invest bigger tickets because they are more comfortable, because who can invest a few thousand may have even the 10,000, but today is not putting them in Stock.estate because maybe it's not yet super comfortable with that. But of course, after a few months, we will put data together and see if those thresholds make sense or is the case to lower them, or maybe higher them. Depends how the audience responds.
Cool.
And
So
following up on the 2500 is raising even that data point. So the average investment and therefore the average portfolio is going higher.
yeah, because as we said, we keep on growing. Thus, we need to better encourage better and healthier, so to speak, investment habits. Cool. There are no more questions, so we can jump into the conclusion bit.
Yeah, just to sum up everything that we've covered in the webinar, maybe for people who joined a bit later, we switched to a monthly administration fee of 0.2%, which means a commission that's very close to what we have had before, that is more predictable. It's fully transparent if you use the simulate feature on our platform. There are no withdrawal fees and no deposit fees either, unless they are charged by the bank that you are using. So you can deposit and take money out at any point. You won't pay any fees that are charged by Stock.estate. Taxes are only applied to interest, not to the principal amount. If you are a foreign investor, we highly recommend uploading the fiscal residency certificate, and this can be done from your profile. And we have implemented cashback. This we have just covered, and you can earn more, and you can compound faster if you invest more or if you invest within the first week of when we launch a new campaign. I think that's it for the conclusion.
Cool. Vic, could you give us a quick go through about every single one of our opportunities available right now?
Yes, so we have available this for campaign this month up to the end of the month. All of them are beneficiaries which we work since last year with them, and specifically are Alteo for the project Triumph 40. With Alteo, we have already successful fundraise Calea București 38. That is a residential project in Otopeni, and right last week we went there on the site to see how it evolving, and by the end we will even receive updates on that project that is going really fast. So to say it with Alteo, we are very comfortable to work with. They have a pipeline here in Bucharest of several projects, and we try to help them with the financing. On their side, they are very happy to collaborate with us. Even if we are more expensive than a bank, we are more flexible, and with them is all about bridge loans that are close within the 12 months period, sometimes even before. This campaign is paying a baseline of 40%. On top of this 40%, you can add the different cashback, going up to 19% with the maximum tier. Then the second opportunity is Centrul Medical Maria from the Olos Group, another beneficiary that we worked with last year, and we liked the evolution. They raised last year 350K to build the wellness area of this hospital that at the base is started with as an old care and now is differentiating services with the wellness area, then the rehab area and other services in this space on rehabilitation, not only on the care. So we are aiming to raise for them another 600K in this spring. We are gonna do it in several tranches, and as well we are comfortable to work with them because they have financially they are really good. They have a contract with the national ministry in order to get compensated for their services. So they have a constant cash flow, and this is something that we take into consideration when we look to a developer or a business. This campaign is paying as well as baseline 14%, and on a 24 months period, difference with the Alteo that is 12 months. And as well, you can go up to 19 with the different cashbacks. On the other side, we have two projects from the same beneficiary, North Bucharest Investment, that is a long-time partner, is also a VC in our crowdfunding company. Almost 1 year and a half ago, we went to them and we raised a round to grow our company. There is, let's say, a special relation, a special trust between the two companies. And they have this month two offers. One is for flipping apartments in the Upside project. That is one of the most important projects in and most expensive project in North Bucharest. So we are fundraising for them in order to acquire and sell these premium apartments. This campaign pays a 13% flat with no cashbacks, as well as the other campaign that is the North Bucharest Investment Package, that is a monthly campaign that basically do the same in different residential complex. If the first campaign is just narrowing on Upside, the second one is for different residential complex. So they may buy one apartment in Cloud9, one in Nusco, one in other developments in Pipera, and so on. This one is paying an 11%, even lower, flat, but the term is a 5 months term. Usually, the campaigns from North Bucharest Investment pay lower because they compensate on the other side with the credibility of the company. That if you look to the financial numbers, are really well financed. So they are not willing to go in a higher interest because they don't need too much this money, basically. And yeah, but the Polish campaign I can speak hours. Just I would like to open the floor for questions so we can respond on each topic.
Cool. Let's jump straight into them. Could you give some updates regarding the project that has delayed the payments? Also, how you do diligence when selecting potential developers? Can we see in the future more transparency in KISS regarding developers' financials?
Okay, let's get each question of these three questions. Delayed payments, we have only one project from 2024, a project from Brasov that is delayed. They have had issues on with the papers, basically. So they just this spring are going to receive the authorization. They had even problems between the property of the company. They fight between them, and so all these problems goes in a delay in our payment as well as other creditor payments. On our side, we started to recover these funds with the legal prosecution of our credit, and is all this process is underway. The problem is that we have had a difficult here in the legal Romanian system, and all the procedures are really delayed in all the courts of the country. But we are positive even in this project because they have more than 10 million in assets in that company, and our loan is 200K. So it's very small compared with the project, and I believe that this year we will resolve even that project. That I repeat is the only one. Second question, how do you due diligence? Well, in real estate, you look first of all of the documentation of the project, the authorization. Second of all of the history of the founders, not always of the company, because the majority of them are SPVs. And then you look at the financials, maybe of the previous company more than the SPV. And can we see more transparency? Well, we try to be as transparent as possible, and even if you have doubts on a project, you can follow up with a mail, and we can give extra information. So we usually ask the balance sheets and the monthly balance to be as clean as possible. But sometimes, as you may know, some companies can look bad from outside because the owners have lent themselves a lot of private money to the company in order to recover that at the end of the project, and basically to pay lower taxes, when in reality the company it looks really well on the profitability side. So there is always this choice that you can do as an entrepreneur in real estate, or you have your balance that is perfect, is bankable, and you pay more, and it's more difficult to keep it in that way, or you do some setups and some procedure to be better at the end in profitability. And these two things sometimes don't go in parallel. But yeah, we try to be as transparent as possible, and if you want extra data, just ping us with the mail.
Cool. Jumping into the second question, I see that now on the platform there is a company with late reimbursements. What does that mean? That they didn't pay the monthly interest or that the final sum of capital? Can you tell us more about what is happening there with that campaign?
Yeah, was as I said, it was a 2024 campaign. So then when we launched, we had the setup with the semestral payments. It was not monthly at the beginning. So they paid up to the last round, and they didn't pay the principal back. I mean, they told us, guys, we don't have the money, we're gonna pay, but not now. On our side, we started right away the procedure to recover it, because an important thing, all the contracts that are made on a crowdfunding platform are executory titles. It means that there is a straightforward, a fast track, let's say, to recover these funds. But still, this fast track in reality means 1 year, 1.5 years, instead of a normal track that it could mean up to 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So there is a way to recover the assets, but it just takes more. It's not. We can execute the title itself. And another great question: do you have any deadlines for the other proposed changes, like secondary market or equity? Thank you
Yes.
for this amazingly beautiful question.
I would raise this question to my love co-founder, Alex. Yes, Alex. When we will have that, Alex?
I will ask back, like, do we have the paperwork ready for secondary market?
Yes, of course.
Okay, then yeah. So joke aside, the plan is at the end of this month to start developing the secondary market. It's tough to say like an official deadline, but our target is to have it within a month or so from starting development. But realistically, it's probably going to be a bit later. We move as fast as possible, but this is not something small to develop, right? Because it's essentially a mini trading platform within our platform, and we need to make sure everything works correctly before we launch.
Yeah.
Well, my personal expectation is to have it ready up to June.
Yeah, because every developer, if there is any developer like in the chat, would have been like, did he just say a month for that? And yeah, Alex is that good.
Equity crowdfunding will probably come after that.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the opportunity. Secondary market will work the second day after we launch it, right? Because it will work on all of the existing opportunities, and everyone that has an investment on the platform will be able to start transacting on the secondary market. So just to clarify for everyone, that's what the secondary market means. It's you have invested, you want to exit early. Right now, you have to wait for the maturity.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell that to someone else, then let's say someone who has invested in the campaign that is delayed, maybe they want to get out now, and they could put it on the secondary market, and someone can buy it, and they will receive the money at the end, and the money will be more than was initially planned, because it will include the penalty interest as well for all the period that campaign is late. So someone who expected to receive the money.
Yeah, on the other side, there is a risk. So maybe I offer you just the 50% to buy you out.
Yeah,
correct.
It just introduces, yeah, exactly, a new amazing layer of liquidity for our platform.
Yeah,
so
you add liquidity.
We strongly hope that is going to be by June. If it's not, just know that is Alex's fault.
Okay, it's my fault if it's not there by June. Equity crowdfunding will also depend on the opportunities that we find. That's not as complex to implement, but it's going to be more complex on the operational side of things, I believe.
Yeah. So another question from Phil. I enjoy this platform and I am invested in it and would like to invest more. Although the new structure doesn't seem to be as incentivizing as the new one, as the old one, he probably meant to say. Seems like this modifications you are having now, where projects have a range from 14 to 19% cashbacks that you cannot withdraw, only reinvest, and higher commission will eat away from normal investor profits, as you need at least 10K investments to get 1% more. And in order to qualify for 2% cashback, you need 50K. So now most investments will be ranged between 14 to 15% ROI, and previous ones had higher returns. This doesn't seem to incentivize investors as well as before, as overall we get less. In this range of 14 to 19, something that was asked from the project side. So is this range of 14 to 19% something that was asked from the project side or from Stock.estate part? And this is how projects will be from now on with a range?
Yeah, complex conversation. The idea is that last year we gave everything for each side, platform and developers, in order to give the maximum to the user. But and it's sustainable, like when you try to launch something, but it's not sustainable on the long way. On our side, we had to raise our fees to become sustainable, because we burn money from our pockets, because we are mainly bootstrapping last year, and we cannot go like that forever. With the growing volumes, we finally will be profitable, and we should be in this 2006, but last year we were not, because we invested everything. So we had to take an higher commission. On the developer side, is more a strategic choice. I mean, we can get into the platform developers that pays 30%, but the question is, will they pay? So we prefer to work with trusted developers, give something less, give them something that is a bit more expensive than the bank, nor not double.
Yeah.
Have a relation of trust like this, and be sure that at the end of the game we get that 14%. That, by the way, is a great interest. I mean, when I speak with my friends from Italy, since I was raised in Italy and I have the dual citizenship, and I tell them I do deals in the range of 10-15%, they are like, okay, this is scam. Everything that is more than 7%, for our opinion, is scam.
Yeah.
So on, we will be more or less in this range, with more security. This is the way we want to go, and we will see how it works. If the audience is going to ask 30% deals, we will give 30% deals, but then
Yeah.
don't call us if they don't pay back.
I mean, this is the trade-off in finance, because better deal does always attract bad credit, and worse deals attracts worse credit. It's basically a strategic shift.
It's a balance. So we prefer to go in this way, to fidelize the ones that we know that pay, to
Exactly.
to keep away the ones that we have calls like, hey, I need money tomorrow, I give you 25%, I give you 30%. But if we are not comfortable to list that,
Yeah.
it's better to don't do that.
It's also amazing because the better deals, they always refuse worse. As I said before, because you did tell us about how our partners are complaining that we're basically trying to squeeze them for the interest for our investors, but this can't go on for high amounts because they won't be able to pay, and they won't even take the loans.
It's
One
nice, this suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind is that we are players in a market that is dynamic. So interest rates from banks change, right? If
Yeah.
interest rates from banks go lower, that means that real estate developers can get loans at lower rates. So it means that our rates will also be lower, right? So interest rates will not always be the same on the platform. So they will naturally shift according to how the market moves.
Exactly. I mean, we'll adapt as time goes on. And Phil told us it's not a bad idea to have a risky section for more gambler style investors. Yes, it is an
I don't know.
interesting idea, but I don't know. It's not the institution where we want to build. It won't offer trust because
People will still think about Stock.estate. That campaign failed on
yeah,
Stock.estate, right?
because
Our main job is to vet and to choose opportunities that are profitable, but that eventually actually pay, right? If it's just profitable and it doesn't pay, then it's not profitable.
Yeah, exactly. And Razvan also added, let's not forget that the return is fixed. The S&P has a 10% historical return, but it's not guaranteed. Very, very great um, uh, idea to point out. So it's an excellent return even at 12 to 14%. Yeah, this is what we thought, because the number of partners that will pay that yield versus actually be able to pay it back, there's not that many left. So we'd rather build, as Vincenzo said, good lasting relationships with good reputable borrowers. Cool. Guys, we're way beyond our time, but it was so fun doing this with everyone here. Also, we got like a huge question that we could just have to go through, right? Cool. So the tiered cashback interest rate based on the sum invested doesn't seem to be as beneficial as before implementing them from an investor perspective. A part of the above facts that we already discussed, that they doesn't seem attainable at current investment levels and maturity of the platforms. Some of the listed projects had already completed other campaigns before, and they had higher interest straight from beginning. One of them, most illustrative, were Alteo projects, which had an 18% interest rate in the majority of their projects. People that were already using the platform in the last months probably noticed too. And now it starts from 14%. Even though for some project it is highlighted on the platform that some, one second, because I lost the train of reading. Even though for some projects it is highlighted on the platform that some money were funded in past campaigns. So also with higher interest paid to investors. If I can understand the time-based cashback to incentivize people who actually invest early, and it actually makes sense, this tier one doesn't seem to be in the benefit of investors. It feels like eating up a big portion of the investors' interests, one that was earned in the same projects or similar ones, Alteo, until recently. What is your take on this? So from the get-go, I'd like to add something. Although it was from Alteo, and you're completely right, it was for Cana București Lor 38, not from Traian 40, which has a bit of a different.
No, but he's right. We had in December even
Yeah.
try with the 18%. The idea is that we wanted to align the interest on the same level, and on the other side, we did the deal last year, and let's keep at 80% this year. That is going to squeeze you a bit because it's higher on you developer, but from next year we are adopting this different policy, and your interest is going to be lower. So please help us till the 31st of December to give incredible offers, and then we will go back in a normal, let's say a normal range. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing who was able to invest in December at 18% and now is not anymore. But I mean, that's life. Even these offers are time-based, based on necessity, based on different pieces of information that we may or may not have.
Yeah.
So yeah, my take here is when you spot a good opportunity, just take it, because it's not automatic that the next month is going to be the same.
Yeah, this is something that we're trying to better communicate, but it's also part of why we exist, because it's so dynamic and the speed at which deals are made. This
And
being
another, if
cool.
I can follow up, another interesting data point is that we kept 18% all the Q4 of last year, and on the investor side, the feedback were, okay, this is the new normal. When are you going to give 22%? So I understand, even as investor, I always want as much as I can, but sometimes I get in the offers, sometimes not. And yeah, we want to give this vision that this spot between 10 and 15%, but where you are sure to get paid, would be a safe spot to be, and desirable for all the parts. And on the other side, even on commercial side, we saw that if we go into Western countries with this 18-20% is too wild, and it seems too risky. So even to get markets from that countries, you should go with something reasonable.
Yeah. So our last year's acquisition strategy, coming from a marketing standpoint, we tried to have the best offer. But what we had happen is it was actually too good to be true, and it was hurting both our acquisition and our partners, basically. Cool. This being said, there are no further questions. I'm just going to wait like 10 to 15 seconds while I just finish up this sentence. And nothing else being said, guys, I think we can end this webinar. It was amazing on our side. Your feedback was highly appreciated, and we'll keep in mind what we talked about. We're going to do this more often because the reception was great. So yeah, have a great rest of your night, guys. Thank you for being a part
Thank
of
you,
our
guys.
webinar and for being so active. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Just hit us up on the chat and we'll have a resolution for any issue, even if we didn't speak about it in this webinar. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Good evening, everyone.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Thank you for joining. Bye.
Bye.
Happy investing.